Well, so there's two swamps here. The big things, Dauthi Voidwalker and Fulminator Mage are two cards I was really wanting to build around. And last night was like, it was tough. I went through a lot of iterations. Like, I was like a Cabal Coffers Overlord deck. I was like Flare of Malice. I was like Psychic Frog Unearthed Overlord. Tried not to be Soul Trader. But I ended up here. I ended up here in more of like a green-black rock shell. So let's go over first, before I get too ahead of myself, why it is that we're playing, why I'm so interested in Dauthi Voidwalker and Fulminator Mage. The big reasons, well, I think Voidwalker is the bigger of the two. Voidwalker seems to be like all of a sudden like incredibly well positioned. Maybe I do have basics, but it's just defaulting. It's just default. I think it's actually, I do have them, and it's just defaulting to the gold border for some reason. Okay, sorry about that. So, Dauthi Voidwalker is incredibly good against Breach. Breach does not play very many removal spells. They can't combo through it. It doesn't die to any of their disenchants. Incredible card against Breach. Dauthi Voidwalker is also incredibly good against Eldrazi. Not only does it like stop their Emrakuls and stuff from being cast quickly, but also like if they cast Malevolent Rumble and they just mill over a Worldbreaker and Emrakul, it's game over. If you go Dauthi Voidwalker and you Thoughtseize a Worldbreaker or an Emrakul, it's game over. And so that dynamic is really good. Dauthi Voidwalker is also way better against Amulet Titan than it used to be, because it stops their graveyard loops too. Which is, I think, also really incredible. And so I think Fulminator Mage complements this plan in a really big way, especially when paired with Emperor of Bones and Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So there's like a little bit of dual purpose here, where your Emperor of Bones can just buy back your Fulminator Mage. So you can go like Fulminator Mage, sack it, and then the next turn go Emperor of Bones, activate another Fulminator Mage. That's great, right? You also have the ability to use Agatha's Soul Cauldron to put a counter on Fulminator Mage to buy back extra creatures. So this can let you buy back Dauthi Voidwalker and sack the Dauthi Voidwalker. This can let you buy back a Grist. This can let you get back another Fulminator Mage, although not the same one, over and over because of the finality counter. Also, of course, can just let you get back opponent's creatures too. So like these two cards pair pretty well together. It also like notably, if you give something Emperor of Bones ability, you can't adapt because it already has. You can activate the ability, but then it doesn't do anything because it already has counters. But these two cards are pretty interesting, I think, to pair together. And then we also have like a little bit of a Green Sun Zenith package here. I really wanted to play Green Sun Zenith for a couple reasons. One, like it's awesome that you basically don't have to play Mana Dorks and still get access to turn 2 Grist and turn 2 Fulminator Mage and turn 2 Shatter Assumptions post board, because it's like this this gives you like an incidental Green Sun for Dryad Arbor. Sometimes obviously you have to play this in your deck, but also Dryad Arbor is kind of just good in your deck, in your Agatha's Soul Cauldron deck. Like you can Cauldron on it and you can Cauldron its ability. But I think it's really cool that your rock deck gets to play all the cheap interactive spells and then gets like incidental Mana Dorks into the 3-drops. I think that's pretty nice. I think Wight of the Reliquary is a really good utility creature in this strategy. It works with Cauldron pretty well. You have a lot of good utility lands to get: Spymaster's Vault, Shifting Woodland, Bojuka Bog, Nurturing Peatland. And also, of course, getting Grist online is really good. And I think Grist, just because energy is like so much on the downtick, like being pretty in on Grist, I think all of a sudden is just pretty dang good again. Get to main deck Liberator, which works with Cauldron too. You wouldn't get the Emperor trigger anyway, since Cauldron doesn't give triggered abilities. Yeah. I of course you don't get the triggered ability, but Emperor does have an activated ability. But I'm just saying this activated ability doesn't work. So like it's not like you could use Emperor of Bones to give something extra counters because of how Adapt works, is what I was trying to highlight there. Yeah, I think let's just get in there. You're also getting to play Torpor Orb in the sideboard is really, really nice. The fact that we're an activated ability deck means that we can lean on Torpor Orb against the black-white matchup. So let's make sure that we have swamps in our deck. And get in there. Oh, my opponent has revealed Obosh the Prey Piercer. Let's go. And I have both Mortuaries in my hand. They just like have Catcher Most unenabled, and so I feel like I would be worried about having that dynamic in this deck. But like when you compare that to like Necro or Black White Flicker, you know, Catcher Most is really quickly enabled in those builds. Fatal Push on your turn with Dauthi would trigger Catcher Most. Lol. Right. Right. Sorry, I think I don't know if I'm confusing it with something. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. So I played around Dash Ragavan, I get Mana Tithe. They flip a Dauthi Voidwalker, see if they have a black source to cast it. They don't have a second land. Wow. Alright, so they probably have Blood Moon. Let's get the basic forest. Well, I was thinking I probably have to take an untapped land, so there we go, I guess. Now, will we get Mana Tithe a second time? They cut a Johnny for Tithe, makes sense. Well, it's kind of unclear what's happening yet, but maybe that is what's happening. It does seem prudent to try to keep the Obosh deck off the third Mana Source, although here comes Mana Source number 3. Good morning, chatters. Let's get Mana Tithed. Okay. Take the pillage. Do I want to... Yeah, I don't want to Thoughtseize anything else here. Seems like they'll be unable to cast this Dauthi Voidwalker, which is about all you can ask for when you're surveilling against Ragavan. Another land destruction spell off the top, maybe? Maybe they thought they could cast the Voidwalker? No, they drew another Molten Rain. Darn it. So my opponent has March and Lightning Bolt and Solitude. So playing a blocker here seems like the wrong choice. I guess let's have a repeat of last turn and let's Thoughtseize the Lightning Bolt. What is this deck they're playing? I mean, red-white land destruction has been like a very fringe archetype for a long time. It's been a while since I've seen anybody play it. I remember Ice9 was a Magic Online user who had like a whole like long I don't even know what you would call it, like just online resource to learn the archetype. And it was so detailed. It was awesome. Build our Dryad Arbor here. Yeah, I used to call it a manifesto, which I do feel like was still pretty accurate. So we're probably going to get our token marched. Thoughts on the Kettra Gearhulk versus Green-White Gearhulk lists? Which feels better in what matchups? So these kind of questions are really tough, right? I'm playing this deck, and it's very tough to just divert and give you a full matchup spread versus all of the green-white versus Kettra Gearhulk decks, especially when like I just don't even have a big enough sample size to like completely give you that information. They hit a Malevolent Rumble here, and they're holding up Hardcast Solitude, maybe. So I would encourage you to maybe try to work on it some yourself or ask more specific questions, because this just isn't going to be an answerable question on a Twitch stream here. All right, so I have only one creature card in my graveyard. So my Green Sun for Wight of the Reliquary. My opponent's Solitudes it, I go to 6. Block here, go to 1. Any other line? I don't really see one. Not dead, though. I asked the question because I want to play one tonight. I just wanted your overall thoughts on both decks. I know that's what you wanted. You wanted my overall thoughts on your deck, and I'm just trying to say to you that this is not a reasonable question to. I like this. Am I being unreasonable? Maybe I don't want to be, but I know I just try to set a boundary. Maybe don't. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not upset, but. Is this not reasonable? I don't have to go over 2 different decks matchup spreads, and I'm not even playing one of the decks. They have Solitude, Insect, and have Lethal. So go to 4. I block the Solitude. I guess it'd be that, yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable thing for me to say. All right, so let's bring in the Graveyard Trespassers. Be a little bit better against Flage. Bring in the 4th Fatal Push. Yeah, needed the 2nd Dryad Arbor. Crazy first game. Let's got the Outland Liberator. Let's play 1 Torpor Orb. It's fair, yeah, it's okay. But I do encourage you to watch the VODs, kind of determine it for yourself, because I also don't have like complete data. I'm playing the Abzan build today because I think it's the better of the 2 decks. So I should probably maybe have just said that. Okay, Rope Burn, the 47 months. Appreciate you. Voidwalker seem not great here versus Deluge for all their X1s. I mean, it's kind of tough for me to feel like so I guess they do have the Ocelot Prides too. It's tough to sideboard in these kind of like random matchups. Yeah, maybe I could see bringing in some Deluges for sure. All right, let's take the Pride. Was Ray good there? I was thinking about Ray. Get ready to rumble. Well, I really wanted to land. I don't think I want this land. Let's take the Cauldron. Got Grist in the yard now, actually. Seems kind of nice. Mick Loser with the 9 months. Good luck with the challenge. Thank you. Hopefully we have a good challenge today. Although I am GMing tonight, so... and I have a lot of... like... I'm prepped, but I got a lot of stuff to... set up tonight, so if I top 8, I'm going to be scrambling, but I'll have time. So it seems like I should try to rumble into another land before I cast this Cauldron. All right, we do that. Then we should probably get another green source to play around a Stone Rain. A better way to phrase my question is, in your testing, which version has a better doing its intended game plan the best? I don't know if it's a better question. I mean, I think the Abzan build I'm playing in the challenge today is the one I would choose for a tournament. But I did like both. How do I think Energy would do next week in Charlotte? It's kind of hard to predict that it would do good. It's possible that there's like a build that could come up that's nice, but it seems like Energy isn't like that good against Eldrazi, which is like maybe its best matchup of the meta. It's not very good against Breach. It's not very good against Titan. I don't exactly know like what it is supposed to, like, you know, what matchup is supposed to be good for it. And if that's the case, it's very difficult to have a high opinion of the deck. Energy had a great showing in last night's challenge, meaning top 8. Okay, that's a good data point, but I just think it's not really good against any of the top stuff still. Definitely a good data point. Yeah, Cauldron does give... okay, they should not have solituded in response. Oh, so I guess I should have pushed in response. I was still thinking I was going to double block. Unless they have Ephemerate in their hand. The Torpor Orb would have like let this just be a creature. I mean, even this Ephemerate in hand is pretty fine. Sorry, I still should have pushed in response. It's okay. Have the extra life, have the extra energy. We'll play around Mana Tithe. Do you have any advice on learning how to sideboard better when playing new decks? I genuinely struggle with figuring out what cards are cuttable when trying new brews. So one thing is I would encourage you to be bold in trying out different plans. I think if like this is something I try to do on stream, and I try to articulate this when it happens, is that like when I'm not sure like what to do, I like to kind of intentionally try something, just try a bold and risky version of sideboarding. And when I'm playing a new deck, I like to try to sideboard in like a slightly different way each time. So like I think just like try to like in each situation intentionally think out what it is you're trying to accomplish, and then and try to intentionally focus in and figure it out what it is you're trying to accomplish, and then once you've done that, give it a go, and then just try a bunch of different things and see what sticks is at least my general process. I mean, it does, like, I know they have Ocelot Pride, but it seems like they're playing so many removal spells. I don't know if I want to play Glistening Deluge. It's probably better than Dismember. Yeah, these are probably better than Dismember. Why Ray of Enfeeblement over Celestial Purge? So Ray of Enfeeblement does not give their the Catchermost player a card. The fact that it kills it without exiling it is a pretty big deal. Because like if your Catchermost opponent goes like Relic on turn 1, cast Catchermost, tap the Relic. It's like it's also 1 mana instead of 2, and you can just respond Ray of Enfeeblement and they never get a card. If you Celestial Purge it, they get a card. Also, we're not playing Wight in our deck. Also, there's no white mana. And this match is going a bit longer than I expected. Challenge is starting in 7 minutes. Hopefully we can get this one close to wrapped up by the time this starts. Maybe it was the deck text that went long. I've seen you play the same matchup 3 times in a row, cyber differently in all of them. Yeah, I probably should be a bit better about articulating like why I'm doing that. But I am doing it because like I'm always brewing and I'm always trying things, and so like you just have to try different plans and like see what sticks. Title is misleading. Title is misleading. Modern Challenge, updated Bright Glass Gearhulk Ketra, leagues with a new take on Green Black Rock. Okay, and what about this is misleading? Let me know. Get back to me. Greyhound Dog with the 25 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So I guess we're going to try to get a Dryad Arbor to block the Ragavan. Yeah, no worries. Just a bit of banter. Any white-black players tried Devout Lightcaster for the mirror yet? Is that card good? Does you get to draw a card? Surely like Elishnorn or like Blood Baron of Escopa would be better. So they marched my Dryad Arbor. Any cool Gearhulk Green Sun Zenith builds? Speaking of Title misleading. Yeah, we played one this week. You should have tuned in. Oh, what can I say? Yeah, should have tuned in. Basic Force of Dauthi in hand. Yeah, but I'm gonna Emperor this turn to block the Ragavan, and then I'm gonna play the Voidwalker the next turn. Although maybe I'll just get pillaged. How am I feeling about Lakers, Luka? Nauseated. Esther bought me tickets to Mavs vs. Lakers on April 9th. Which is the day after my birthday, and my mother's maiden name is Lakers. And yeah, let's block here. And I don't know. I'm excited. We still get to see all the same players. but Luka's not on our side anymore. Next, I'll have Marsh Flats. They put the Obosh into their hand. I did kind of forget that it was over there. Let's get ready to rumble. Hopefully we can like mill a Grist and Cauldron. A Wight of the Reliquary. Also mill a Glistening Deluge. Okay, let's grab the Reliquary and then... Seems like I probably just want to like surveil. What do I think of London when I visited? Did you visit anywhere else in the UK? It was just London. I loved it. I thought it was a great place. I had Harry MTG to show us around. It was great hanging out with him, and I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was also kind of like a pretty silly place, like Piccadilly Lane. And I don't know. I loved how I don't know. I feel like I really enjoyed the British humor. Maybe humor is not the right word, but I enjoyed my time there. On Piccadilly Lane. Okay, we'll attack with the Voidwalker. How was the food? Not the highlight of the, not the highlight of the Europe trip. It was fine. Okay, winning round 1 just in time for the challenge to start. I'd be interested in like a coffer shell. Sometimes I play Leyline Binding in coffers, which is definitely a little weird. But maybe that's a good way to make use of the extra mana. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't really get these. Yeah, I feel like you have a lot of like shitty enchantments for someone who like doesn't have very many enchantment synergies. So that's something to think about. Oh, Flicker with Felia. Ooh, maybe I missed that. Oh yeah, Flicker Invasion of Theros with Felia is pretty cool too. Yeah, maybe I'm just wrong. Alright, so they have a 2-lander. I think I should try to protect the Fulminator here. Obviously, we don't need to commit this Voidwalker too aggressively into the Lightning Bolts. But we will, since they played the tap land turn 1, we will play the Voidwalker since that stops them from casting the 2. With so many hate pieces and ways to find them, can we call the deck green-white taxes? You'll have to consult the your accountant on that. Mick Fluff, thank you for the 50 months. Long time, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So it has Bolt, Bowmaster, 2 mystery cards. See if they have that extra land. We won game 3 against Breach. I had a hand that was Urza Saga. It was my 7-card hand was Pithing Needle, Urza Saga, Mox Opal, Springleaf Drum, Ketramos, Deafening Silence, and I don't think I can remember what the other card was. Actually, now that I think about it. But I was on the draw and I needed to determine if that was enough. Oh, interesting. Wait, where did the other bolt go? They bolt me end of turn and I just didn't notice? I guess that's what happened. So I guess I don't want to fetch shock anymore or at all. Maybe I should be surveilling instead of playing the bog. So totally didn't notice they bolted me. What's my go-to taco filling? So I've been eating vegetarian for health reasons for a little bit, so I've been doing sofritas a lot lately. The Cavern of Souls on Giant. The hits keep coming, huh? Very confused why they're playing Profane Tutor when what the Giant is. What Giant is in reference here. Yeah, Croxa, I guess. It's a good draw. You feel like you missed the Smiths. Yeah, I feel like the Smiths, they top deck probably the best possible card. Another Bowmaster. That was not a Profane Tutor target. Yeah, I think it's good to cut the Smiths. The Smiths were kind of slow, and it seemed like the deck just kind of needed more speed as a short answer there. So the Grist is at 1. We draw Emperor of Bones, and we can Emperor of Bones get back a Fulminator Mage or a Dauthi Voidwalker. Let's go ahead and just see if there's another option here. Not that we have many more options in the deck. Oh baby, okay, no more complaining about luck for like 2 minutes. So my Dauthi Voidwalker is kind of cool. I think let's go for the Dauthi Voidwalker because it can either be a Profane Tutor or it can be a Lightning Bolt. Oh no, I have to maintain timing restrictions. What could they possibly get here? I don't know. I think let's just restrict their mana. Surely restricting their mana has to be the best we can do against this Profane Tutor. And if I kill the Verge, then they don't even have red mana. Or sorry, if I kill Blood Crypt, then they don't have red mana because they have Verge. That was a really timely extra insect to hit. 4 mana, 4/4, destroy target non-basic land, deal 2 damage. That's pretty good. It's much better than Avalanche Riders. This is Magic the Gathering right here. This is what it's all about. Oh, Cremator's a giant. Yeah, they must be on Cragwood Cremator. I didn't know it was a giant. Good read. Card unironically really good against us. There's a mountain. It seems unlikely that's what they would have tutored for, but not impossible. It is a good card here since it turns on the Verge and gives them the extra mana. Yeah, them having Mountain Bolt kind of perfect. We're done complaining for a few minutes, of course. Especially now that we drew Green Sun Zenith. So I can go Green Sun for Wight of the Reliquary and have a 5/5 that's like killing them pretty quickly, or I can and I can play Dauthi Voidwalker. I think that's going to be better than getting another Grist here. Lets me attack with my Emperor of Bones as well. Yeah, I guess maybe I should exile Voidwalker so that if I drew... I can still just draw Cauldron and get attack with the Voidwalker. They tutored the Bolt, the naturally draw red source. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what happened there, which one they tutored. Hard to complain too much since we still won pretty easy despite them having like best possible. So we'll bring in these Trespassers again. I agree that they're probably playing Kraken with Cremator. They probably have Asmo in their deck if they're playing Cremator. They might have Psychic Frog and just no, I mean, I don't know. Like Frog is so good with Cremator. The 4th push will probably be fine. Let's cut the Dismembers and let's go cut the Liberator. I think 3 Fulminator Mage seems like an okay number to me. Could also play Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb could be like actually pretty sick. Let's go 2 Mage. Yeah, this deck's pretty nice. Maybe if I didn't sleep in a little bit, could have secretly been the challenge deck after a couple matches. But I really needed like a little bit extra sleep. I've been sleeping so bad. Athena's been a husky lately. Does Orb shut off the giant? Yeah, Cragwood Cremator is an ETB, so let's double confirm. It's a little bit weird that we boarded in Trespasser and the 1 of Orb. But let's just like do 1 speculative Orb and see what's going on. All right, speculative Orb. Let's go. Isn't this like the Golgari deck that got popular a few months ago and you hated? It is similar in the sense that it is Golgari and playing Agatha's Soul Cauldron and Grist. It's also probably 25 cards different, probably 35 if you count sideboards. So is it? I don't know. Is it the same deck? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Let me know. What is, it is kind of similar. In fact, I feel like this build is even doing a lot to kind of rectify what I disliked about those builds, right? Is that those builds were really their threat quality was really, really low, and they won a lot of matches because their deck is just playing a ton of graveyard hate and a ton of disenchants, and so you're really good with those. But your threat quality is really, really low. But now that Dauthi Voidwalker, and then in combination with like I think Voidwalker, Fulminator, Emperor Bones, Grist is like this cool package that makes me like this threat package a lot more. I think that this is kind of exactly what this archetype needed, I would even say. Okay, they have their own Voidwalker. I think I'm going to play Voidwalker, Dryad Arbor. I want to be able to block this. And then if they do get a Cremator here... They get Cremator go to 4 cards, drop to 5. They go land down to 4, Cremator down to 3. So like it's not like they are like a lock to kill me with it, right? I remember when the black-white deck started popping up. Assuming you mean green-black. You said the deck kind of impressed you at the time, given this was before Aether Drift. Yeah, I mean if you're talking about black-white, like when the first Recruiter builds started popping up, I wasn't too impressed. I had also played like a good amount of Black-White, Felia, Overlord with Guide of Souls, also Pride instead of the Vile Recruiter plan. But I did get convinced that plan was good at the time. And then now Ketramos is a lot better. And if we're talking about the green-black builds, then yes, I was a big hater of them for a long time. Can you explain what Cremator is assigned to do in the deck? So in their deck, Krakenwit Cremator, they like discard their hand with like cookbooks, and then they make it to where their last card is like a Yargle, and then the Cremator just deals 18 damage to your opponent. Is the preferred play pattern, it seems. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill the Saga here. A little bit scared about land Cremator, but I also want to be able to go like Orb into 3-drop next turn and Surveil. And then sometimes that's not all they have. Like it's not just Cremator. They also can play like they can Goryo's Yargle or Emrakul or discard it, and then discarding it is a way to like kill your opponent while playing through Graveyard Hate. It's cool that people are like getting the memo on the Dauthi Voidwalkers as well. Seems like they're F6, so let's go Grist minus. Best use for a Dryad Arbor. Good read, Twitch chatters. Incredible. So I think getting Cauldron online's pretty nice here with the Dauthi Voidwalker that we can exile. Could like cast a Dismember, kill a Cremator. If they attack Grist, we'll just let the Grist die, of course. This is like the best like speculative one of sideboard card. Not like really sure what they're on I've ever seen. So it worked out so well. So let's exile their Dauthi Voidwalker, and then cast Dismember. And I think I might just cast Dismember again. Then I lose my Dauthi Voidwalker. Yeah, I don't have to do that. And like the Voidwalker in play is obviously really handy to keep casting stuff. Okay, round 2 is about to start. Perfect timing. 2-0 in the league, 1-0 in the challenge. Good start today. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. We're keeping this on the draw. I think we're gonna keep. You know what I'm saying? Big fan, huh? It's okay. You could be a fan of mine and be a Titan player. And we have a lot of anti-Titan stuff. So yeah, I think again for your monuments to summarize, your monuments are good when we need to hit a land here. Kidding. I guess maybe the joke was on me. Like I think that like monument in a deck like the Steel Seeker Manufacturer deck where you're just not able to like pressure your opponent with the lose 3 life, it's gonna make it a lot worse. They didn't get a second amulet. Doesn't really make any sense. Like I don't know. I guess they just have nothing. But like with the Urza's, like if they could just activate Urza's Cave, they would be in such good shape. Because their hand was just all explorers, huh? Get the extra 4 life off the Urza's Cave too. Still didn't draw a land. Feels kind of unlucky. So it looks like I want to take the Primeval Titan. Oh, sorry. For some reason I was thinking I could cast the Voidwalker here. I don't have the mana. Yeah, obviously their hand was going to be really redundant, huh? Alright, these in, Fatal Pushes out, Dismember's out. Trim Emperor. Oh, round 2. We lost a Storm really quickly. He had a turn 1 Deafening Silence, game 2 got killed pretty quick. Tough game. Like if I would have been able to play the Dauthi Voidwalker there, their life is pretty difficult, but no lands. Off of our Rumble. Oma with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, if we find a black source there, we get to go Thoughtseize on the prior turn. Just been so different. This hand's pretty interesting. I think you do want to Thoughtseize on turn 1 with these kind of hands. Like, you want to leave your Voidwalker in play for the most part against them. It's a pretty grindy hand here. Got to take the Dismember, I think. Stops the 6. Would a version of Cauldron that did only non-activated abilities be good? Describe how that card would be worded, because I've certainly heard that like proposal a few times, and I'm always like a little bit confused as to like exactly what's being suggested. You know what I mean? I think I will go to Green Sun for 1 or for 0. Like what does that mean? A version of Cauldron that did non-activated abilities. Like so this is Panharmonicon? How is that phrased? Alright, Voidwalker plus Torpor Orb plus Grist is a pretty good combo against them, although we may get our Orb Besagied. Orb is, of course, mostly for black-white, but it's nice. It can be good against this matchup, too. That sucks. Okay, so let's think. My opponent's hand is 6 Keen-Eyed Curator mystery cards, so not the best hand that they have. I think I want to be able to cast a Fulminator Mage and Emperor of Bones a Fulminator Mage, or I could like it could be correct for me to grab this Grist and then just have 1 Emperor Fulminator Mage. Could also take the land. I think the Grist is just too important against their hand being Keen-Eyed Curator in 6, so let's do this. And then I want to go ahead and target the Fulminator now because they have the Curator. Couldn't you just make it a trigger? When a creature enters the battlefield, it gains all abilities. Yeah, I get, but like so it would just like you would exile creatures, and then it would be like when any creature enters, it gets all ETBs underneath this like Panharmonic Cauldron. Seems really, really good. Like probably a little too good. An interesting, interesting thought. So do I need to kill the Urza's Cave like really aggressively? Okay, I get very punished for this, I think. Although this can let me get the Voidwalker back. So my opponent's hand is Keen-Eyed Curator mystery card. The problem is if I don't kill the cave, they can get Lotus. I think we hold off here. Could also put the Voidwalker into play. More about attack triggers, Storm. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not too excited about the idea, I guess, but it's kind of interesting. Okay, so if I kill the Crumbling Vestige, They can still cast a Titan if they have a Titan. Their hand is Keen-Eyed Curator mystery card. Exiles a Rumble. They can't get this to 4. They can't get 4 types here. So this is kind of weird. I could go put Dauthi Voidwalker into play after I adapt. Then I could cast the Toxic Deluge off the Dauthi Voidwalker. Kill the Keen-Eyed Curator. Play Cauldron first. I guess they win the Cauldron fight. Because the Curator is stopping me from like Cauldroning my Emperor of Bones. And I also want to kill the Urza's Cave, but they can sack it in response, so that doesn't seem like a really worthwhile thing to be doing. I need to adapt. I think I need to adapt the Dauthi Voidwalker and just untap here. And I may be sacking this to Grist, and I may be casting the Toxic Deluge. Such an odd game. So I think I want the Dryad Arbor underneath. I think I would rather be able to like end of turn or like put a mana into play rather than put anything else here. So I do think they're gonna activate the Urza's Cave. This is a cool game. First time I've said that against Titan in a while. So it seems like I want to be killing this Boseiju, right? Seems like I want to kill the Boseiju. So they pick up Bojuka Bog. Nothing in their yard to retrace at the moment. Does a sponsor pay for entry fee to leagues? No. I have a high enough win rate that it doesn't really cost me anything. I think I've maybe spent... Sometimes my play points do get real low. Maybe I've spent $50 in the last 4 months. Maybe like 60, 70. I wouldn't have to spend anything if I didn't like do a lot of dropping and requeuing for like playtesting and stuff. All right, let's get the Grist down. I haven't watched Severance. One of my good friends has been trying to get me to watch it. I'm definitely open to giving it a go. I hear a lot of good things about it. I haven't been watching that much TV lately. I've been okay, they have a Boseiju. So I guess we're fucked if they have a Titan. They do have to have a land Titan though, as their 2 cards in their hand. Or land, Scape Shift, land whatever. Okay, so that's a Mirror Pool, which very notably cannot tap for green here. But they are still floating mana. And then they're passing. Okay. So if I draw mana, I can go Green Sun for Outland Liberator and then blow up both amulets. Okay, didn't draw the land. So if I go Green Sun for Outland Liberator, I can spend a mana to kill an amulet. And then I can Agatha's Soul Cauldron the Emperor of Bones and then return the Dryad Arbor. which gives me an extra mana, and I could sack the Emperor of Bones to kill the other amulet. I think you should have kept the Seize. You'd either lose the turn on tap or seize the Titan and win. What do you mean and win? I feel like the game is just still going. I'm looking for Fulminator Mage. We also don't know that their card is Titan in their hand. It could just be a shitty land. We have a lot of like really nice hits like Force of Vigor, Rumble, Fulminator Mage. A land. I also really wanted a land so I could just blow up both amulets. I wonder if their hand just was an amulet here. All right, let's get going here then. Sorry, I should have targeted the Vestige instead. Not a huge thing here. Didn't mill over another creature. The land lets me hold up the insect token activation. Glass Cannon. Max with the 16 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Deluge and Dismember is definitely good to know about. They also boarded in 6 and Keen-Eyed Curator. So I wonder if I should be playing like any number of push. Obviously we have Grist for these kind of cards. Emperor was also like way better that game than I expected it to be. Let me cut these whites. Or we'll play one white as a green, so target one push. Sure. I think I want to play Dismember instead. Kind of close. Thoughtseize and win. I wish green decks weren't so bad in Modern. I could play Force of Vigor decks to beat Titan. I mean, I've been playing a lot of green decks with Force of Vigor lately, so sorry, none of them have been to your liking, I suppose. But you can play Titan. That's the best Force of Vigor deck. Why does Tylos Tracker never look beatable to? What's wrong with me that every time I see Tylos Tracker, I'm like, can't beat that one. Need to rethink my life. I'm going to take the Tracker. I think I could maneuver around the Dismember a little bit. Like, if I could just play white next turn, if they Dismember the white, I'm pretty okay with that. Hoping to draw a land. They exile the Tracker instead of dismembering the white of the Reliquary. I do really need a land. Could sack the Outland Liberator. Could Thoughtseize the Dismember also. Yeah, I think I'm just going to try to... I'm going to offer this trade also. Is Boros Energy bad now? I think it's bad against all of the top decks, with maybe the exception of Eldrazi, but I think it's not even really good against Eldrazi, so... Yeah, I don't think I'm making that exception. Yeah, just get a Mortuary. The instant speed Bog could also be pretty relevant in this matchup. Voidwalker is really good. Hard to say no to here. I just really want to go Thoughtseize Fulminator though. But I think I can afford to just Fulminator. Do you think Boros has strayed too far from the aggressive slant with many 3-drops? Maybe. I don't know if building it more aggressive is the direction to go. So I don't want to attack as the Liberator or the Curator can shrink my Wight of the Reliquary. What happened to Soul Trader combo? I don't know. It's if Soul Trader combo is not something you can play anymore, or exactly why it seems no one's playing it. I'll say that personally, I don't play Soul Trader much anymore because it's an archetype that I find to be really repetitive. Like the games are really, really samey in a way that I don't enjoy. All right, so we know no card in their hand because we killed that Simic Growth Chamber. So yeah, I can't go for the Emperor while the Curator's over there. So it's Thoughtseize first to play around another Dismember. Alright, seems like I can play the Grist. Dude, my Grist hits have been so lucky. I will also Storm in the challenge. Deafening Silence game 2 immediately. Prismatic and dinged. Dauthi Thoughtseize. I think the problem with going Thoughtseize first or Voidwalker first is like they could easily have another Dismember, and then also like you don't even really want to cast Titan. Like you just want Dauthi to stay in play and stop their graveyard loops. It's like and pressure them is kind of how I'm wanting to approach the matchup. Wait, this gets trample? Oh no, I totally didn't realize this gets trample. I can Grist it next turn, but kind of annoying. I knew it was going to be a big creature. I forgot that it gets trample. Okay, so they can Urza's Cave to be able to top deck a Titan potentially. So maybe I should be... No, I can't go for Emperor of Bones because they just have the Curator, so let's go minus. Attack first, I guess. Also, they can't go for Bounce Land. They have to go for... I guess, yeah, Lotus doesn't even do it. Yeah, maybe we're just fine. I guess I get... with this man, I don't really know what I get punished by, but maybe I should have attacked before casting the Grist. Sam Dauthi Bones... Take the hit, Grist next turn. The problem is I just don't want to leave this out here because like them exiling my yard makes my Emperor a lot worse. And then it's also kind of important for me to be able to get to a point where I can minus Grist on the Titan, maybe. And maybe. Woodland seems scary. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe we'll just Emperor the Titan next turn too. Not quite lethal. So Ray's been a great game. It's been the best game against Titan I've like maybe ever played. Recent Vendetta aside. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to target the Titan with my Emperor, trying to bait Bojuka Bog off of their Echoing Deeps. Okay, and then they didn't do that, so I'll be getting my own Bojuka Bog, I guess. And a Surveil Land, I think. Maybe a Shifting Woodland. Woodland could be good depending on what we mill with Grist. I guess that's kind of ambitious. Let's just get the... Get Spymaster's Vault also. I'm just going to get the Mortuary and not be sure. Okay, I guess we're just shuffling whatever we see on top, actually. So I should have saved the Mortuary. Sorry about that. Not too used to playing with Primeval Titan in this deck. Okay, so their hand is Boseiju, 3 mystery cards. We're not dead to just a hasty Titan. Last cannon. So we're 3-0 in the league. We're 1-1 in the challenge. Let's check how long the challenge has. Okay, pretty soon. Let's get a trophy prediction for the league going. Pretty excited about the green-black deck. Might end up playing in like Monday's challenge. We'll see. I don't know what line this is supposed to be. It was a good match, though. That was a great match. We could have survived. We could have survived. I got too like laser focused on equipping the Shadow Spirit to the Gear Hulk that turn. No, I bored out 8+ hammer against the Ketramos matchup, but it would have probably won me the game if assuming I hadn't drawn them earlier, right? But yes, I do agree there are better ways to maneuver that match for sure. Z's. Lockdown is non-land, right? Okay, so they're probably gonna ramp themselves. Oh, really? Okay. So I can't attack really with this Ketramos. Want to get non-basics against the White Orchid deck, I think. And then let's choose the Ketramos. Then when the Ketramos gets exiled to the finality counter, we get to draw a card, which is very cute. I haven't seen that happen, I think. Maybe not sure. Not sure if I've seen that or not. Storm feels so well positioned right now. I'm 14-4 in the matches since adding DRC. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, this lockdown is really throwing me off. It is pretty good for them here. I'm hoping to draw an untapped land so I can grist. They grab a Solitude. So let's go to combat. I'm going to be, I think, fulminating them. We also have the Spymaster's Vault to potentially get a counter on this Emperor of Bones, by the way. Let's go after their black mana. Yeah, the last match was really good. I do think we messed up at the end. I think we played really tight besides the sequencing last turn. Just got too tunnel visioned on the like Shadow Spear on the Gear Hulk, I think. Great match. A lot of good matches today. Yeah, I never want to play Wrath the God and Recruit of the Guard in my both in my main deck. So they Solitude pitch that lockdown. They can Ephemerate. Sure. Gain an extra life. Plays of Marsh Flats. Don't know any cards. Tap land's pretty awkward here, to be honest. Seems like I just trade Dauthi Voidwalker for the Ephemerate rebound. Yeah, I think I did like the Utopia Sprawl build better. Yeah, we 1-2 dropped the challenge, beat Breach, lost to Storm, and then we lost a really good game to Black-White. Okay, so I'm up to 18. We're 3-0 in this league with this rock build. Down to 17. Gonna do this on upkeep to maybe make them tap a mana. Hopefully they don't have another removal spell though. Nice. Oh, I did mean to kill this Godless Shrine, so if they cast a Ketramos, it freaking sucks. Oh my gosh. Stinks. I just got excited, took the upkeep stop off. This might just be a game losing little punt here. I do have a couple Dismembers in my main deck to help deal with Ketramoses though. Draw Grist. Oh, sorry. I guess they just diminish my Ketramose. But then, yeah, but this is kind of fine if they. Wait, no, it's not fine. No, I've goofed this up. Okay. Interesting that they wouldn't cast that. So I'm down for a double block here. Don't know if we're going to get it. But if they double block, I can sack the insect token, get a Shifting Woodland, and use the Woodland to copy the Emperor of Bones. I can also push my own Emperor of Bones and then do that. And then the Solitude would be in the yard. Is Quest for Necropolis too weak for Modern? Yeah, I think so. I think Ketramose is going to lead us into another Beans-style era. I do think the format will adapt to it. Ketramose is not as good as Beans. It is also like Beans is like kind of the most broken card ever, and so, or maybe not ever, but one of the most broken of all time. So like less broken than one of the most broken of all time isn't exactly like a glowing review. So no more Grists in our deck. Now this is a 3/3. But, you know, the Black-White deck has weaknesses, and it doesn't seem like Ketramose is a card that needs to, like, immediately go. You hear Lucy grumbling at the cat. Okay, so they just drew a land off the Ketramose draw, it seems. So I've got a few different options. I can go green. Oh, I can't go Green Sun for Grist because the Grists are exiled. I can go. Let's go sack the insect token main phase. Grab Shifting Woodland. Fatal Push the Recruiter of the Guard. Spymaster's Vault, adapt. Discard 1, discard 2. Sorry, I shouldn't have done this. I forgot to exile the Recruiter of the Guard. I think I will offer the trade though of we both get 2 life if they want to take that. I think I'm gonna leave this back to block the Solitude. Oh, sorry, the Finality. Too much stuff going on. Yeah, they gain 3 and I gain nothing. Okay, a little bit misdone. I meant to get the Recruiter there. Can still get it next turn. Can still get it next turn. Without the Grist, like, we can't kill this, like, without drawing one of our Dismembers, though, which I don't know exactly how we're going to be able to do that. We may get Dauthi. Oh, they have a Maria? Okay, Maria's just not really doing anything, actually. So let's cut them off green mana. Kill the Fulminator Mage. Or so kill the green source of Fulminator Mage. Play Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Then on my instep, yeah, I'm going to Cauldron the Outland Liberator. Put a counter on the Emperor of Bones. To get this Fulminator back in play. And I have the option. I have the option to either kill the Portico now, which I think is worse than being able to block the Ketramose this turn. So double block the Ketramose and then sack the Fulminator Mage if they attack with it. They drew a Relic, which is bad for me. I've been kind of hesitant to play Relic plus Emeria plus Ketramos. My opponent doesn't seem to have that fear. Yeah, but if we still had if our Grist had not been Surgical Extraction game 1, we would have been able to set up to kill the Solitude and get the Solitude back from the Emperor to get rid of the Ketramos. As it stands, it seems like we're probably going to get taken down here. The old Ranger Captain, Temporary Lockdown, Wrath of God, Surgical Extraction deck. Gets a Thraben Inspector. We could have also denied the black mana for Ketchup. Yeah, this was a big punt, of course. For some reason, I thought I could click off the upkeep stop and still fulminate them, but that was clearly not the case. Okay, so we also need to decide, is it better for me to... I think it's better for me to get a land than to remove a land in this spot. I think we get either Nurturing Peatland or Mortuary. My deck is looking thin, dude. There's like no juice left besides like the Dismembers. My Green Sun is Green Suns are actual blank after my Grist gets Surgical, and I've drawn both of my Wights. I drew the Surgical though. So what's the best way to do this? I think it's probably to Dismember the Solitude and then to Spymaster's Vault onto the Emperor of Bones. To get the Solitude back, exile the Ketramos. This is only creatures. You may... Okay, so yeah, the Cauldron doesn't let the Spymaster's Vault tap for green, so let's pay 2 life here. Okay, so make sure to actually go to combat first. Okay, so target the Solitude. Activate the Spymaster's Vault. This deck is so grindy. Loot away the Green Sun. Unless they have a Solitude. Okay, loot away the Green Sun. Counter on Emperor of Bones. We brought back so many creatures. Exile Ketramos. Attack with Emperor and Solitude. I gain 3, I go up to 8, they go down to 15. I'm going to go ahead and go digging for my ability to surveil a creature into the yard. I guess I don't have almost any creatures left, but why should that stop me? Okay, so now we can go draw that Fatal Push. And then we can Fatal Push the Granger Captain and pass the turn. What a game. They have no black mana either. Losing your Grist so in this matchup is so crazy too. Brutal Surgical. Made a lot of mistakes this game. Tough game to navigate. I have no idea how many creatures we've gotten back with this Improved Bones. I know it has 6 counters on it. We have not a lot of juice left in the deck. How can you hit Image 3? This deck is so cool. I mean, Image 3 isn't completely, awful, but there's a lot, an insane amount of problems with that set. So they march my Cauldron. So I guess let's go Cauldron, the Ranger Captain.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Then we can Recruiter of the Guard for a Dauthi Voidwalker. I think that's better than another Emperor, probably. Opponent ramps himself this time. Do they have another black source in the deck? We've killed a Backstreet. Surely they have an Overgrown Tomb. Surely they're not on one shadowy Backstreet as the Ketramos splash. Okay, this is a blank card. Well, we can loot it away to Spymaster's Vault. Really don't want... Like, I'm okay with this going to the yard because they can't get it back next turn, and I can maybe Emperor of Bones it back, and I also want to be able to Spymaster's Vault this turn, which the Dauthi Voidwalker turns off. Although maybe this counter should have gone on the Wight, huh? Yeah, I'm sure they're not playing Overgrown Tomb, but like no Godless Shrine is kind of crazy. I'm looking ahead at Modern, and now that bans have happened, MH3's got some really great cards in the format. I agree. I also think still that MH3 was the worst set of all time in the context of Modern. Now that I guess only 2 cards have been banned from it, but we just had like the worst, like my least favorite 6 months in Modern's history because of the set. Oh, there's a Godless Shred under the Emperor. Okay. Always so easy to forget these cards. So Biting Grace. Okay. Anything void counter, just an Ephemerate. Are we going to win this game? This game's crazy. Yeah, the unbans have been great. I agree. I'm not trying to be like super duper doomy, but I'm also not really ever going to defend MH3. It's like, it's also like here's one thing I find very funny. When MH2 came out, the amount of people who just come in here and would complain every day about MH2 was insane. So much complaints about MH2. When MH3 came out, people just stopped playing Modern because it was actually just so bad. You know what I mean? I hear like I basically have never heard anybody complain about MH3 because they just, by my understanding, just stopped playing. They reveal a Martyr of Sands. Yikes. I'm down on clock, too. They reveal Kami of the False Hope. And they gain a life. All right, I'm going to concede here so we can have time for games 2 and 3, which is not something I almost ever say on this channel. So Torpor Orb stops their Ranger Captains, their Solitudes, their Thraben Inspectors. So we got one like a 1. They're not nearly as in on ETBs as normal Black-White is. If I cut my Outland Liberator, my 2-week to like Abiding Grace, they probably have like enough random stuff that I want to keep in the Liberator too. That Surgical on Grist was pretty good. Maybe we just don't want to play Torpor Orb. Nah, Recruit of the Guard 2. Actually, we probably even want more orbs. We go down to Green Suns, weirdly enough. Not like this. Alright, that's a good one. I'm comfortable being wrong, but making the set Eldrazi focus is a mistake. Yeah, I've been saying that a lot this week, actually. It's just like I've been saying a lot like that I would have just loved to be in the room. I would have loved to understand like why MH3 was an Eldrazi focus set. It doesn't make any sense. How is Fulminator still playable in Modern? Their big mana decks are incredibly popular. I'm excellent Grisk as a surgical. Big mana decks are incredibly popular. And there's like a lot of like cool synergies with the deck too. Like between Cauldron and Emperor Bones. Like this is like a pretty reasonable plan. Eldrazi isn't the problem itself, but the busted cards are the problem. Well, I agree to some extent, right? Like you can balance cards here, but like just on a very macro level, like you sit in a meeting, you have your preliminary brainstorm for MH3, and then someone in the room says, "Hey, what if we made the most major focus of MH3, the biggest support for any single archetype, the number one thing let's support in MH3? What if that is Eldrazi?" That person should have been like, "No, of course." Everyone else in the room should have said, "Oh, no, of course not. That, of course we shouldn't do that." See me after class should have been the response from everybody. But somehow they're like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, Commander, I don't know. Everyone just says Commander, but I don't even know what this means anymore. People say Eldrazi sells packs. I don't know. I have the very old school philosophy is if your decisions make the format you're designing for worse, they're not good decisions. Why not though? Why not Eldrazi focus? So the last time Eldrazi were viable in the Modern format, we experienced what a lot of players lovingly call Eldrazi Winter. The largely regarded as like the least balanced or one of the least balanced formats of all time. It's like one of the least balanced, like least fun, least interesting. And it's like, and like I like kind of simply too, like if Eldrazi are viable, like this isn't like the gameplay is not super interesting against them. Like if big dumb creatures with big cast triggers that you have a hard time interacting with are viable, like the gameplay just isn't that good. And I think the gameplay against the Eldrazi deck isn't that good. It's not the worst thing ever, obviously, but like they just could have done anything else, is what I'm trying to say. Like they had the whole world available to them and they chose to like really focus on Eldrazi and put like a double mana land into the format for reasons that remain unclear. Another basic. Might get Wrath of Godded here. Pops the Relic. Temporary lockdown. So it seems like I should be putting this Fulminator Mage in play to chump block the Ranger Captain. We'll let this happen and then maybe minus the Grist. Three-Wood Inspector, a bunch of other cards. There's the Three-Wood Inspector. There's some value. I'm okay if they like Solitude the insect in response. The previous deck was more like a Stompy than a big mana. Though, yeah, but it was also just I don't know. It's like can you deny that the play patterns of current Eldrazi aren't like really that interesting or good? You know what I mean? Do we feel like where they landed with the Eldrazi cards was a good, interesting direction? I don't feel that way. I feel like K-Command is a big part of this. Ugin's Labyrinth is a big part of this. Mycospawn is a big part of this. But like it could have been different. But it's not. I don't think we could really feel like where they landed was particularly interesting or compelling or anything. They get a White Orchid Phantom, then they play a Flagstones. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop the Outland Liberator. The Bojuka Bog is such an incredibly awkward draw. Yeah, I think we just have to commit to losing the Grist, unfortunately. Yeah, we're playing one Liberator in our Green Sun Cauldron deck. I feel like it's honestly kind of self-explanatory. Skeps with the 16 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm going to upkeep sack this captain, which is not seeming like a really solid game plan. But, I mean, this matchup is also like such a nightmare. Tough to play against it at 3-0. Missed it with the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I like Cankerbloom slightly more. They're really close, though. Okay, so I've seen people play Cankerbloom. Is like the ability to proliferate on Grist, like this is what we're talking about, this change, or this is the difference? Because I gotta say, I'm not like jazzed about that, but I guess maybe I should have. No, I couldn't have Voidwalkered. Like if this is your big payoff, it doesn't seem like a big enough payoff, you know what I mean? Oh, I mean their hand is quite bad. I need to play faster. Yeah, you can improve back Grist, I believe. So yeah, the difference between Outland Liberator and Cankerbloom is one is a 3/2, one is a 2/2. The one can transform into a creature that attacks and destroys a creature, a land or an artifact or enchantment every turn. That's a pretty high upside versus the ability to proliferate, which doesn't seem like that high an upside. So I don't know. It's certainly not like the deepest decision tree or whatever, but I think it's hard to like feel really opinionated about it too. Okay. My opponent's hand is Haywire Might Mystery card. So if they had a Solitude, we kind of put them in a weird spot where if they floated mana, I would know if they could Solitude the Emperor of Bones before I got to use the ability. I think I'm going to wait. I'm not going to target anything in my yard yet because I have another Emperor in my hand and this might die. I'm going to start playing actually fast, I think, too. Since if we can steal this game, which seems kind of likely, I need to be ahead on clock for game 3. They surgical my Fulminator Mage, so this F6. Their hand is just a Haywire Might. Day and Night is the reason that people are not playing it because it's annoying. I mean, that's pretty valid. Less of a problem on Magic Online, right? Would Proliferate trigger the Emperor again? I guess it would, yeah. I didn't really think about that. I thought it was mostly just a Grist consideration. My opponent's tapping 6 mana. Okay, just a Solitude. Okay, I've already used my Dryad Arbor. The white just actually better here, I think. Would I say Ketchamosa's Meta Warping? Yeah. I think that would be a kind of accurate kind of technical definition. And this is really narrow, but I'm going to copy Emperor of Bones so that I can exile the Solitude and avoid Emeria just a little bit better. Also, potentially, I can use the Shifting Woodland to Solitude something. Maybe that was a bit aggressive on the Ray, but I really didn't want them to chump block, and I really want to end this game. But maybe I don't want to end this game this quickly, because if I went into game 3 being 7 minutes on the clock, or like 5 minutes on the clock to their 4, that would be a lot better. But maybe that's still about what will happen. My opponent Haywire Mites their own temporary lockdown in a shocking display with the ability to field White Orchid Phantom my Shifting Woodland. Amazing. Then they get a clue token. I guess they've been setting up for that for a while, huh? Then they play another copy of Temporary Lockdown, leaving us both in top deck mode. I top deck an Agatha's Soul Cauldron, nothing to put it on. Just gotta play fast. This is a Ketchermos. Okay, I need to exile before Ketchermos comes down. Pretty good top deck for them. I have a pretty good top deck myself. Gotta get the orb, I guess. So I can't block and sack the spawn to get the life gain denied, unfortunately. Sorry, I forgot I had the Haywire Mite underneath, so I could have made a token. But I just must be playing fast. I can't really realistically be taking my time on like any decision. I think I'm just doing this for 1 extra damage, which seems kind of critical here. Grab a Spymaster's Vault and pass. Fuck, I'm down on clock again. Okay, wild that they're doing this. Guess they must have some life gain in their hand. Maybe they found the Martyr of Sands. But also in play fast mode. This is back to being a 2-2. Making me work for it, for sure. Hope to hit a spell. Damn. Oh, could have sacked. It's just too late. I don't have time. Don't have time. Yeah, if I dispel there, killing the Phantom's just such a big deal. It's going to be a tough one. Is that the end? No. Gotta find a spell. Okay, dead. Dead. Bummer. So this hand can turn 1 Dryad Arbor and then turn 2 Rumble. I feel like I'm supposed to try to keep this hand on the draw. It's obviously a little risky bisky. On the draw against Amulet again. I actually kept a pretty similar hand against Amulet last time we played the matchup and then lost game 1 and then won the match. Could we surveil with Marsh Flats? We were out of surveil lands. At some point while playing faster, you decided to go for multiple grist activation against going for multiple grist activations with Cauldron seemed incorrect in retrospect. There were a lot of like small decision points that I had to make really fast. But yeah, I mean, one of those turns, like the decision was to gonna hope to like spike like Cauldron plus Fulminator, hit like half of that, I guess. Yes, I think we're surveilling this turn. Maybe, I guess, technically holding up push. I mean, it's just like at a certain point, it's not super possible to play a game like that perfectly when you're making every decision instantly. Only human. Feels like an endurance would have been good there. I did just say this too, but like you are not. I am not someone who's ever played against Martyr and been like, I'm going to think about changing my deck in any way afterwards. Like it's a deck you play against one every 100 matches, 200 matches maybe. It's not something I really am going to worry much about. Okay, so we're looking for Outland, Liberator, or Fulminator off this Rumble. I guess it's a little early to concede. No thanks. This is good game too. We did keep a pretty similar hand last time we played against Titan game 1 and we won both sideboard games. We'll see if that happens again. So I brought in that package of cards. I don't think anything else. I cut the Fatal Pushes. I trimmed an Emperor of Bones, and then Emperor was like surprisingly pretty good. And then or maybe I think I went down 2 Emperors, and then I went back up to a 3rd. They were also playing like Toxic Deluge and Dismember and 6 and Keen-Eyed Curator post-board against me. Like it's kind of hard to imagine that they're going to sideboard in the exact same way. And then bringing in a push for game 3. I think we want to wait on that until we see that they are employing a really creature-focused sideboard plan. Ruler Boom Command's so good, especially into Breach and Titan. I mean, it seems like it certainly has some text in those matchups. And it's not like, I mean, is kill a box and like look for a land from your graveyard really like an impactful play against them? It's not the worst. Killing Amulet is nice, I agree. Yeah, lost versus Titan game 1. We beat them earlier this league, also losing game 1. Not having Dauthi Voidwalker or Thoughtseize or Fulminator is tough. Maybe we should have mulliganed, but obviously didn't know the matchup. Kind of hard to mulligan that hand in the blind. Grist seems medium. Grist is really good with Torpor Orb. Like you have to be able to go, like if you with the orb, they play the Titan. Grist killing the stuff is a pretty big deal. And then they also sometimes board in like a bunch of like sixes and Key Knight Curators. They might even have like Collector Ouphe by Cauldrons. We can play one less Grist potentially. Spike can we get some Sorin Ketchbros deck, some cool mid. So I mean it's kind of tough because it's like Sorin just doesn't fit in the existing black-white mid-range deck. I guess you could play Sorin maybe in the Necro build, but yeah, dead in the challenge. All right, on the play. We got the orb, triple Grist. Yeah, maybe we should have had one less, huh? Just have to mulligan. I think I'm gonna go to 5. I really went like a Dauthi Voidwalker. There's my like a Dauthi Voidwalker. So let's put back the Emperor of Bones. Don't know about putting back the Cauldron. I think we'll put back this here. We can Surveil turn 1. And then we can Cauldron the Outland Liberator maybe. Are Dauthi and Emperor necessary? They're like the entirety of the reason why I built this deck. I'm going to be quite blunt. Okay, so I think we graveyard the Fulminator Mage with the Cauldron. And us not having a third land. And then let's play the Outland Liberator. And there's a pretty good chance that they don't play anything. And then Liberator can like kill Saga. And then they make a Saga token to block. I guess they won't have the 2 artifacts. Yeah, but like I built this entire deck around like Dauthi, Emperor of Bones, Fulminator Mage, Cauldron. Like was the entirety of like where I started. So yeah, I'm not particularly interested in like moving away from that. Do they have Dismember? Shout out Cankerbloom. Cankerbloom could still be good. And it would seem to be incredibly greedy here if I were to not just blow up their growth chamber. Releasing them from the werewolf though. Green Sun for a Dryad Arbor. Interesting. Gingy, thanks for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. Rumble comes with a Stone Rain attached to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I think we take the Dryad Arbor. Could have used Dryad Arbor instead of the guy. Did we have a green fetch? I guess if we had a green fetch, we should have just arbored. Kind of seemed like they had Explore into Bounce Land and they didn't want to deploy the Bounce Land. Killing the Arbor is really nice because it's another creature in the yard for the Cauldron. Just seems odd having a few targets for Zenith. Well, you just don't need that many targets for Zenith, I guess would be the short answer there, right? Fair enough. I think we put the counter here. Looking pretty likely we're going to take down the Glass Cannon deck this time. At least this game. Alright, I guess we do some spying. Doesn't really seem like I should be discarding the... If this could turn into a 3-3, it'd be fine. I am out of Surveil lands. So it seems like I hold this to loot away at the Spymaster's Vault, potentially. Get ready to rumble. They rumble over Aftermath Analyst, T-West, Crumbling Vestige, and Spelunking. Not feeling so good with no pressure here. And their hand is, you know, Crumbling Vestige, 3 spells, plus whatever they grab here. Oh, sorry, Forest, 3 spells. We already killed the Vestige. What did they put into their hand? They put Spelunking, and then they don't play the Forest, which is interesting. Oh my gosh, I boarded out my stupid Wight, which is just a mistake, I guess. That was pretty bad. Thanks, Target Player, for the cheer. Used too much brain power that last match. The last match was so crazy. I'm gonna force in response to the trigger. Big time punt. I was just thinking I could go X equals 2 and then hold up the Forest, but forgot I boarded out the Wight. Tough timing on the Force of Vigor there. And it seems that this is where we're at. So I shouldn't pay any life. Big money spell. Let's go. Although I probably would have just preferred to draw the Rumble next turn. We do still have this Torpor Orb in play. My opponent's still, you know, light on lands. Well, now they can cast a Titan, but then they lose 2 lands and the Titan doesn't have an ETB. Can they haste the Titan? They can haste the Titan. So if I did have a Grist in play here, which obviously I should, it would be dead to the Titan attack. But I would have a couple extra 1/1s and their life total, and I'd have them on like a 2-turn clock. Feeling pretty cooked. I boarded out the Reliquaries and forgot I did that, unfortunately. So I'm down to 5. They don't have anything in their yard I can kill them with Emperor of Bones. They have an Otawara up to protect themselves. Can Otawara bounce Dryad Arbor? I think it can. They packed for Primeval Titan. I don't think I have any way to blow up. Even if I could blow up 2 bounce lands, they could still pay for. Yeah, this stinks. I'm making Green Sun for Grist to kill this. Like, I should have like 2 more tokens in play, but obviously that was a pretty big punt, but I think we lose anyways. Okay, well, good start to today. Wheels fell off a little bit. 3-2 this league, 1-2 the challenge. A bunch of very difficult matches today, a bunch of really close games. I feel like games are really good today. Very close ones. So only league with this green-black deck. 3-0 to 3-2. I liked it. I would play it again. I don't think I've got a lot of extra notes on it. No showcase challenge for me tomorrow.